All right, mic check, mic check, mic check. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. Let me know if y'all can hear me in the chat. Mic check, mic check. Put your ones up if you can hear me. All right, Khan, all praises. We'll be joined momentarily by Chief Priest, and we're going to get this started. All right, I'm just going to get started. Brother, be on soon. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawashi. I'm going to do a quick lesson, and then I'll possibly open it up for Q&A. This is the Situation Room. I believe it's number 17. If I'm wrong, somebody can correct me, and I'll give you 5 bonus points for the next SICARRI live stream we do. All right, just put your name in the chat, and you get 5 bonus points, and keep saving them up, and we'll figure out something to do with them. Again, first and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawashi. I can't say it enough. All right. He truly is a glorious power. And you are watching the sect of the SICARRI Israelites. I am the Deacon of Ka. All right. And we've been doing this installment for the last few months. No debates lately, just strictly prophecy and edification. But we will have some hot exchanges coming up soon after the Passover, Lord willing, and through the Spirit and power of Yahawashi. So with that being said, let me share my screen and get into some complex prophecies. And Lord willing, everybody, all the brothers and sisters can be edified. Shalom to the chat. Please like, share, subscribe, super chat, all the stuff. All right. Let me make sure we're going here so I can see my screen. All right. Now, if you can see the screen, put them ones up in there. See the screen, put the ones up in there. Shouts out Chicago. We got SICARRI. We got SICARRI Chicago. Officers and soldiers on the rise out there. Okay, come. There we go. So let's get into this. Numbers chapter 24, and we're going to start at verse 17. And it reads, I shall see him, but not now. Who's he talking about? We're going to find out. I shall behold him, but not nigh. Meaning he's going to see him. He's going to behold him, but not now. How? This right here proves the resurrection, regeneration, but that's not the point. Keep going. There shall come a star out of Jacob. Everybody who's been in this truth for at least a year should know who this star out of Jacob is. All right. And if you took the 12-week course for all the soldiers, officers, and prospects, then you should definitely know who this star out of Jacob is. And a scepter shall rise out of Israel. This is talking about Yahawashi, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right. Shalom, Judah Nazareth. We know we gotta get that SICARRI Japan going. Y'all just gotta convert. Y'all gotta convert and get SICARRI Japan going. All right. So it says, and shall smite the corners of Moab and shall destroy all the children of Sheth. So this is a prophecy of Yahawashi. Some say it's King David, but this didn't happen. All of this in context didn't happen with King David. All right. So he shall smite all the children of Sheth, right? Meaning when the Most High sends Yahawashi back, he's going to smite the corners of Moab, which would be your modern day Chinese today, right? And destroy all the children of Sheth. Why is it mentioning Sheth here? Because pretty much we all go back to Adam through Sheth. Adam had Adam had Cain and Abel. Abel got killed by Cain. Cain got banished. Then he had Sheth. So we all go back to pretty much the start of Jacob is going to destroy all of mankind outside of the elect of Israel, because you got to remember, all these nations are going to get destroyed, subjected, and put in slavery, and 2/3 of our nation is going to get destroyed as well. So that's all the children of Sheth, literally. All right. So let's keep going. And Edom shall be a possession, right? Now, okay, let me keep going. Verse 18, and Edom shall be a possession, meaning subjugated, possessed. It's the Hebrew word Yerash, I believe. All right. It's the same as Amos 9 and 12. Somebody fact check for me. One of you good beloved brothers.
I got you.
Huh? You got me?
Yeah, I'm fact checking now.
Okay, fact check that. The water. So we got, and Edom shall be a possession. Let's just make sure this word is Yerash.
Yeah, Yerash. Screen sharing now. 1 second.
Give me some water. I don't see your screen.
You can see it now, right?
Okay, I see it now.
Okay, Yerash, possess, H3423. To seize, dispossess, take possession of, inherit, disinherit, occupy, impoverished rather, be an heir, inherit, impoverished, come to poverty, be poor, to be dispossessed, be impoverished, come to poverty, to devour, to destroy, bring to ruin. So clearly, does that sound like we're going to do something nice to them? No, it says we're going to essentially destroy them and impoverish them and take what's theirs. So don't sound like anything positive is coming to Edom. I don't think, at least. And that's the thing. You have certain Israelite groups out there that are using this scripture. You know, I'll call them Christians. Let's call them what they are, Christians, who will use that scripture to try to say we need to be nice to the so-called white man. No, that's saying that we are going to impoverish them and take all that is theirs. We're going to inherit them and their land and their people. They're going to be an inheritance. You see what I'm saying? That's not anything good. Right. So that can never be neglected as a fact of what's going on here and how these prophecies going to play out and how the so-called white men who are the Edomites according to the Bible are going to get their God-given judgment, man. Their much-deserved judgment for all the evil and all the iniquity and all the hurt that they brought to the nation of Israel and the planet Earth and the animals. You understand what I'm saying? And the air. You understand what I'm saying? They need this judgment through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, and they're going to get it, thus saith the Most High God, man, without question. Dickie, you there? Can't hear him.
Can you hear me? Can you
hear me? I hear you now. I hear you now.
Okay, that's crazy. Okay, I couldn't have said it no more better than myself. So, as we see, like the brother mentioned, it's not a good connotation. This isn't something good when it speaks about, and Edom shall be a Yerash, or a possession, impoverished, devoured, being destroyed, subjugated, and taken into slavery. And Seir also shall be a possession, which their land is going to be for those of the south, which Obadiah says, for his enemies. And Israel shall do valiantly. Okay, verse 19. Out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion and shall destroy him of, I'm sorry, wait a second. Edom shall be a possession. Did I skip over something? Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, so verse 19 says, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city. What is this talking about when it says the star of Jacob is going to have the dominion and shall destroy him that remaineth in the city? Well, what city is it talking about? Well, we already know, we clarified that this is speaking of Yahawashi. So let's go to Revelation 19. We're going to read verse 19 to 21. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, Yahawashi, and against his army, the heavenly host, and the elect. Verse 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire burning with brimstone, which is the thermonuclear destruction and holocaust that is going to happen to the land of the Americas, right? Verse 21, key point. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So we see that him that remaineth in the city is dealing with when Yahawashi comes and slays the rest of those who survived after the Babylonian, after Babylon is destroyed, which will be the rest of the world armies. All right. So verse 20, and when he looked on Amalek, Amalek is a son of Esau, right? Continuing harping on the Edomites, putting much context on the Edomites through this passage. He took up his parable and said, Amalek, not the person Amalek, because he was dead and gone. This is talking about the people, which is synonymous and one and the same with Edom. Edom and Amalek is a distinction without a difference. Amalek was the first of the nations. He wasn't the first of the nations, but this word in the Hebrew, if you can get it, Alazar, is dealing with the best, the cream of the creme de la creme, right? The top of the nations, in which he is right now. But his latter end shall.
What other time in history can we see Amalek being the first of the nations? Right? You ain't no other time. I mean, you were dealing with, they were contemporary with ancient Egypt, ancient Babylon, ancient Assyria, etc. So they were never the first of the nations during that time. That's talking about this time that we in right now today, right? It say Amalek was the first of the nations, right? That's why it was parabolic at that time, because it hadn't been seen yet, right? It's first, beginning, best, chief, the choice part. So that's what they are now, being that the Jewish man, so-called Jewish man, who are the tribe or the kingdom of Amalek, are the polar opposite of the southern kingdom of the nation of Israel. They are the most rich and affluent people and wealthy people on the earth right now today.
Con. So we know what it's talking about by that context and phraseology, right? So it says, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever, and which we know that this prophecy is dealing with all the Edomites, not just Amalek. When we read Obadiah 1 and 18, I'll read it for the viewer's sake. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame. All right, northern kingdom and southern kingdom coming together. And the house of Esau shall be for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it.
Real quick, big shout out to the brother and Issachar. Shalom, Yahawashi, Brakatah. Thank you for the donation kick. Go ahead.
Shalom, brother, and be waiting on your scarves too, my brother, through water for the support. So, all right, so verse 21. It gets better. Let me close out of these boxes so we can keep moving. Verse 21. And he looked on the Kenites. The Kenites, when you look it up, they are one of the nation of people or tribes that was in the land, dealing with the Hamites that was in the land before it was given to us, and took up his parable and said, strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in a rock. So we know when you deal with the Tyrians and Zidonians, they had fortified structures. They had methodically placed fortresses and defense systems, and where they set their land up. The way they set their land up, you couldn't invade through the sea. They would catch you coming on the sea, and they would have to get through other nations even to get to Tyre and Zidon. So they placed their nest strategically, is what it's saying. Nevertheless, the Kenites shall be wasted until Ashur shall carry thee away captive. Well, when did this happen? When did the Assyrians take the Kenites, the group of Hamites, into captivity, right? So we look at 2 Kings chapter 16. So when we look at the prophecy of Numbers, we see that these prophecies happen post Balaam, and even some of them are still not being fulfilled. Obviously, verse 17, 18, 19, 20, that hasn't been fulfilled yet, right? And then he goes back and then he deals with what's going to happen in the near centuries after him. So we go to 2 Kings 16 and 9, and we see when this happened. It's verse 8. And Ahaz took the silver and the gold that was found in the house of the Lord, and then the treasures of the king's house, and sent it for a present to the king of Assyria. Verse 9. And the king of Assyria hearkened unto him, for the king of Assyria went up against Damascus. The people that are in Damascus today are Arabs. They're Ishmaelites. They are not the original people of Damascus. The original people of Damascus are Hamites, Philistines, Zidonians. All right. So it says, and took it and carried the people of it captive to Kir, I believe that's around Ethiopia, and slew Rezin, which was the king of Damascus, a Hamite. All right, so that's when that prophecy came to pass in verse 22. Verse 23, and he took up a parable and said, alas, who shall live when God doeth this? Because obviously it didn't happen in his time. Verse 22 is a great point, right? Dealing with past and future prophecy. It says, and ships shall come from the coast of Chittim, and shall afflict Assyria, and shall afflict Eber, right? And he also shall perish forever. Now let's deal with that. And ships shall come from Chittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber. When did this happen? First Maccabees. This is during the time of the Greeks. People don't know that, you got a lot of people that say the Edomites are the Arabs. They say, when has Esau ever been scattered? Well, Esau was scattered when Nebuchadnezzar conquested the Levant. It says that they always kept trying to return. Malachi tells you that they always kept trying to return. Jeremiah 49 says when the king Nebuchadnezzar came up against them, that they would scatter away from their land. They didn't want to fight against the Babylonians. So that's when they were scattered. When they were scattered about the 6th century BC. Where did they go from there? Macedonia. All right. History tells you that. So First Maccabees 1:1, and it happened after Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, right? We know that he was a white man, Alexander, but they're calling him a Macedonian, the king of it, right? Who came out from the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, the king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece. So we see that the Edomites, when they got casted out by Nebuchadnezzar, they went to assume the identities, and they did conquer some surrounding nations, but they assumed the identity of the original Japhites, which were black people, you could tell by the pottery and archaeology, right? So it's calling them the Macedonian, who came from Chittim, right? So let me close out of this, and just to substantiate the history I just gave you guys, Esther 3:1, I'm gonna read the KJV. It says, after these things did King Ahasuerus promote Haman, the son of Hammedatha, right? Remember that, the Agagite. So Haman, he was the son of an Agagite. Agag goes back to Edom or Esau, the Edomite. But in addition, you got something to say? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying that's right.
Come on, so when you go to Esther 16:10, get down, brother. For Aman, it's the same, but in Esther is translating it from Latin to English here, I believe. So it's calling him Haman.
In the editions, yes, it's Latin.
Haman instead of Haman, Aman, same thing. You see it. The transliteration.
Exactly. Same way like Yahawashi, if it's translated directly from Hebrew to English is Joshua, but from Hebrew to Greek to English is Jesus.
So it says Haman, a Macedonian, the son of Hammedatha, right? So here is calling him Hammedatha an Agagite, an Edomite. Here is calling the Edomite a Macedonian, which is how we know that after they got scattered by the Babylonians, they went into Macedonia and assumed their identity and nationality. That's just history, is facts, undeniable, unarguable. All right. So and shall afflict assure. And I meant to get Zechariah 9 real quick so we can see that the prophecy is dealing with those ships coming from the land of Chittim, and it would be a conquest of the Levant, right? So let's read it again. It says, verse 24, and ships shall come from the coast of Chittim and shall afflict Ashur. Hold on one second. Okay. And shall afflict Ashur, which is Assyria, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever. Now we know, according to the Bible, only nation that's prophesied and promised to perish forever is, we see it right here. We can go other places, but we see it right here, is the Edomites. And we just showed the Edomites assuming the identity of those of Chittim, the Macedonia, the original Japhite Greeks, right? So what this is speaking of, and shall afflict Ashur and the children of Eber, that's talking about the conquest of the Levant. We are the children of Eber, and there was other Shemitic nations that Alexander took down, all right, including Assyria. I'm sorry, the Assyrians, but he shall perish forever. So when you read Zechariah 9, I don't have time to go into it, but this talks about
we're gonna be going into Zechariah 9 on the Monday night class. Maybe not this week, but in coming week we'll be going deep off into Zechariah 9 through the Spirit Most High will.
Okay, con. Yeah, because when you get into Zechariah 9, this couldn't have been fulfilled, and it doesn't match up with anybody except for Alexander the Great and his conquest of the Levant. Even when you look at yo, that was crazy. Let me just see something real quick if I can find it. Ashkelon shall see it. See it, very sorrow. Okay, and the king shall perish from Gaza. So when you look that up during the time of the Greek and Syrian wars, that was Badius. He tried to prevent Alexander from conquering Gaza, and when Alexander finally broke down the walls, he chased him down, and I believe he tied him to each one of his limbs to a horse, and that's how he destroyed him, right? But it's heavy history, Lord willing. You guys could be there for that, Zechariah 9. So that will conclude Numbers chapter 24. I hope everybody was edified. Elazar, if you got something, that's fine. If not, we can Q&A.
Man, you know, that Numbers 24, it's just a powerful, and it's, you know, it's a very powerful prophecy. And it just destroys a lot of things, and it partially substantiates the word of the Israelites. You can't go anywhere in history and show any of that happening. And it proves where the Israelites, it proves who Edom is, who Amalek is. It's a great prophecy. So I think a lot of us need to be more familiar with that, go to it a lot more, and things of that nature.
Con. So we Q&A, or you got something?
No, we Q&A. We Q&A.
All right, Q&A. Put your questions in the chat. Bubba Kushah, put your questions in the chat. Make them brief as you can.
All right. Okay. So somebody, let's deal with this. Let me say shalom, family. For there's no shalom in the Hebrew. No, who's deleting the messages? Yo, chill out. Y'all gotta calm the hell down. I'm reading that. Hell is wrong with y'all? Shalom, family. For there's no shalom in the Hebrew. The wa will not. The wa will not, when writing in Hebrew, they put the vowel points to the wa in shalom. It's shalom. Grandfather was an original one-word member. Actually, that's not true. Let's prove it. Let's prove that. Let's just put that to bed now, okay? Because that is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, and only someone who doesn't know Hebrew would say something that's stupid, to be honest with you. Let's go here. The word peace. I'm going to show y'all something. Peace. See this? Shalom. See this? Shalom. So yes, there's shalom in Hebrew, and it means peace. And then there's shalom in Hebrew, which also means peace. Shalom, which is the sha, the la, and the ma, right? And then you have the sha, la, wa, ma, right? Shalom and shalom. They're both in the Hebrew. They're both in the Bible. Let's see which one comes first, actually. Let's take a look at that. Shalom. That actually is the first time the word peace is used in the Bible. It's shalom, not shalom, just for the record. So the most ancient and the truest and most prime way of saying peace is shalom as opposed to shalom. But they're both in Hebrew. They both appear in the Bible. And it's honestly retarded to say otherwise. Next question. Hold on, y'all can't see. Deacon, you need to click on my screen to make my screen big.
I did.
Okay, so did they see it? Because I'm seeing it. I feel like the chat is delayed. Just so y'all can see it again.
Yeah, just do it one more time.
Right. Here's shalom and here's shalom. They're both here in the Hebrew. They both mean peace. The more proper way of saying it is shalom, but shalom is also there. The first time the term peace is used scripturally, which is Genesis 15:15, shalom is used. Okay, so that's the more prime way of saying it. But both are Hebrew. Again, shalawam, and then shalom. They both are there. All right. So to say anything else is, quite frankly, stupid. All right. Yes, chicken's cleaning. We dealt with that 1,000 times. I don't understand how y'all think chicken is unclean. Let's just real quick.
I'm eating chicken right now.
I'm eating chicken right now. Damn it. Hold on. Y'all got me bent backwards. All right, hold on. Let me see. This is the scripture. Just so we can clear it up real quick. Let me. What is the damn phraseology? Creeping on the fours. Hold on. Let's limit this a little. Number 4. All fowls that creep, just so y'all can understand what that is. Fowls that creep, you must not eat winged insects that walk along the ground. A chicken is not an insect, so it's talking about an insect with wings that crawls. You can't eat those. That's what it's saying. But any other questions? Somebody watch the questions. Oh, somebody asked about the World Mission Church Society, the God, the Mother. I'm gonna tell you something. We put videos out against those guys, and they went and told YouTube that they did not consent to be putting the videos, and they got them taken down. The first cut you need to go to is Exodus 15:3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Start there. But they're crazy, really.
Yeah, I can't wait for one of them guys to come to camp. I'm gonna say, why is Israel God's wife? I mean, is this lesbianism going on or what?
And then also, like, we actually had a sister that was coming to our classes for a long time, who was a top person up in there. So we know all the ins and outs. I'll be waiting to see one of them. We know the ins and outs. Good precept to the sister Carla Madison. Judah crazy. Yeah, man, he's in Japan. He can't get no good fried chicken. If the wa is silent in Shalom, prove to me that the wa is silent. Then if I'm going to follow that, show me silent letters in the Hebrew. 1, show that to me. 2, there's was in plenty of names. Let's start with Tahawar. Is there a wa? Or why are we saying the wa in Tahawar? Why are we saying, you see what I'm saying? I want to show you how problematic your logic is. I need you to show me silent letters in Hebrew. Show me silent letters in any Semitic language. I don't care who he on. I need him to show me that linguistically. Don't just tell me what your damn uncle told you. Show it to me linguistically. A silent letter in the Semitic language. Go to the Amharic, go to the Arabic, go to the Syriac, and show me silent letters. I'll wait. Go to Sanskrit and show me silent letters. All the languages that Hebrew is related to, show me silent letters in any of those things to be able to substantiate that. The wa is silent, but just in that word, not in any other words, but in that word. Good point. Spell Torah. Spell Tawara. Tawara. Yeah, he said so the Y recaptures, so the Y and Yahawashi is silent. And also you have to know how that Y or the Vav and the Yod or the Yah is used interchangeably to change tenses in the middle of a word also. You got to deal with the linguistics here, bro. If you're not coming with linguistics, I don't know what to tell you. Exactly. Tahar wore purity, but then you could say Tahar without the Y, and it means the same thing, pure, clean, etc., right? I mean, okay, let's look it up. I don't understand. This is why it's your point. So let's just keep exposing the stupidity and illiteracy. Okay. Tha, wa, ra. Tha, wa, ra. Tha, wa, ra. And again,
brother said he comes in peace. Well, you know, at the SICARRI, we're always we call triple C's, cool, calm, and collective, baby.
look, man, and this is how silly it is. And like I said, the Y or the Vav and the Yod or the Yah is used interchangeably because we take a look at the etymology of the word, it goes back to the word Yerah, right? But then they add the Tha in the front with and change the tense of the word with the Y. So it's idiotic to think that this Y is becoming silent because all it is transferring from the etymological root and the tense of it from the Yod to the Vav. See that? That's all that's going on here. So I don't understand what your point is with this either.
How do you say
it's nonsensical? Just because they told you that at One West, everything they did at One West was not 100% correct. I don't know if you know that or not. It's not. I mean, or else, you know, Cornelius is a white man. How we talk about that? How we talk about Rocky Stone coming up and sitting up in the school? Huh? Let's talk about, we can talk about it. But you talking about Cornelius and a white man now, then you're not teaching what they taught at One West. You're a liar. You see what I'm saying? Let's just be real. It always say Tawab for good. Why ain't it just Tab? You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. Other questions, though. Somebody get on the other questions.
He said, what's a quick cut to prove the white man is the devil? First, I would say Revelation 2:10. The devil is synonymous with the wicked. Job 9:24. Easy. The first word for Mount Seir. The first word for seer. What's that? What's that breakdown you brought out, Chief?
The first word for devil is seer, which seer is the capital of Edom.
Yeah. The first word for devil in the Bible is seer, which seer is the capital for Edom. And that's a promise.
Let's go into real quick. Leviticus 17.
Wait, who? Somebody said, was the white man ever taken on slave ships? Listen, if they listen, prove it. Prove that they have. That's my question.
I need historical references. No, we don't celebrate birthdays.
And Issachar, I would read Amos chapter 8. Some brothers say they know where they're at. I don't subscribe to knowing where they're at. That's just me.
Who, Dan?
Con.
Isaiah is stupid, man. Birthdays?
Yeah, well, if you debate the white man on Facebook and they say that the white man has been on slave ships, just tell them to prove it.
If they use the Irish, go into all the documentation that the Irish had slaves and made themselves fortune. So why did to Marissa Younger, Yahawashi Brakata?
What verse proves Joseph was the father of Mary? I'll tell you, Numbers 1:18. He wouldn't be from the tribe of Judah if he didn't have a earthly father.
We got whole videos on it. Watch some videos.
Yeah. Just type in SICARRI virgin birth debate. You'll get a lot of videos.
You see? Balaam is not an Israelite. I don't think Balaam is a Moabite though either.
I think he is a Moabite. Who had a question on Balaam?
Somebody just asked if he's Israel or Moab. He's not an Israelite, I'll tell you that.
This dude said, "You people." This is how we know he's white, because he said, "You people are of your father Satan." He was a liar from the beginning.
Get H1N1 the hell out of here.
Revelation 3:9. Hide him from the channel permanently. Can you explain Romans 9?
You're pretty self-explanatory, but what part?
Israel Lewis, just keep reading. Read the next verse. The next two verses will tell you who them Gentiles are. Yes, he was considered a prophet.
No, Elijah is not Elijah Muhammad. Not the same guys.
Yo, man, that's crazy. This dude said, was Elijah the prophet Elijah Muhammad? Okay, ClickHouse. What date and what white people group went on slave ship? Where did they go? You can't just tell me they went on slave ships. What time and where did they go? When?
Who were they slaves to?
Oh, okay. He might say that the British put the Irish on slaves to be on ships to be slaves.
Well, that's white on white crime.
We already did that breakdown, but the channel got taken down. Revelation chapter 2 and 3. It's pretty simple. The 7 stars are the 7 angels, which are the 7 bishops, and the 7 candlesticks are the 7 churches. All right, you can read it. Just read it slowly. I know how you Memphis brothers get down.
The 7 stars are 7 human beings. Okay, 7 brothers. Okay, that's what the 7 angels, or like the brother said, the 7 bishops. Those are 7 individuals.
What's the difference between law, statutes, and commandments? Well, the Levitical priest should know that.
Well, let's look at the definitions so you can see. Okay, they all are summarized loosely as the law, but there's a little nuances. Okay, nuance. All right, so let me show y'all.
Real quick, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me present it. Okay. Boom. As you see here, the words all appear here. So let's go to statutes, which is kakwa in the Hebrew. Statute, ordinance, right? We'll look up the English definition. Statute. A written law passed by a legislative body, a rule of an organization or institution. In biblical use, a law or decree made by a sovereign or by God. Okay, so you have that. Essentially a law. We know what a commandment is. I'm telling you what to do. Torah, this is interesting, which we just were here. The Thawara. And we can see here, law, direction, instruction. Right? So it's the instructions on how to live our lives that we find in the scripture. So that's what the law is. And then, of course, the statutes are the decrees. And the judgments are, did they ask about judgments? Or they just ask commandments?
No, he just said law, statutes, and commandments.
Okay. So let's just go to commandment. But y'all hear also judgment as well. It's like being used. Commandment, basically, code of wisdom. So it's our wisdom, it's our instructions, and our laws. Salaki on this call, but essentially that's what it is. Not anything super drastically different. Essentially all the same thing. That's why they're often summarized collectively as law.
The brother said, who are the modern day Medes in Isaiah 13, and how do they fit into the brick breakdown? Well, the Medes are the Russians. The Russians are those Eastern Europeans. They're living in the land of the Medes. They're living in the land of Japhet. So they would be the modern day Russians, and that's brick: Brazil, Russia, India, and China, brother.
Yeah, the real Medes are nothing and nobodies in
Right.
today's time. All right, they're stinking, filthy heathens.
Well, they're big for nothing. The Bible says it. That story will come out next.
That's right. That's right, I can.
And they stank, and I hate them.
That's right. That's damn right. Passover 2019. If you want to come to SICARRI Passover, you reach out to us and we'll help you out.
Wait, who's Gad the God 17?
That's Isaiah. That's Isaiah.
What's Isaiah? Who asked that question? I don't want to laugh at him, but I'm going to laugh at him. Passover will be in San Diego. Email if you want details. Ooh, that rhymed.
There you go.
The sea of glass in Revelation 4 and 6 is what some will call the firmament or atmosphere.
Yeah, Chantel May. Gog and Magog is not Russians and Europeans. It's the Eastern Europeans, aka the former Soviet Union, and that whole Eurasian area, which would include China and North Korea, because all that was part of Eurasia. Gypsies, forget about them.
Can I get some scripts on death?
What do you mean the scripts on death? Y'all got to learn how to ask questions sometimes, man. Physical mark. Black Haven is where I be on my P's. Two witnesses encompass the prophets. There's always two.
Well,
prophets on the scene.
Specifically, though, it singles out Moses and Elijah because it deals with how they split the sea and call fire from heaven. So yeah, it's dealing with them too, but it's also encompassing the prophets, like the chief said.
There's always two Most High always has two extremely powerful prophets on the scene. Always. So it's an office. Was like Moses and Elijah, who had, like the brother was going into, had exponential power, more than even other prophets. What do you mean, JF? No, the gypsies are not the Medes. The gypsies that don't have power. The gypsies go in different countries and rob and steal and scam people. Black Haven is where I be on my P's. RL, you just stay tuned, brother. You see what RL asked did?
Yeah, I hear him. I mean,
he just need to.
That's worthy of its own video.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Ariel. Who do you think they are?
Yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
What else? Somebody said something. Oh, can you explain 144,000 in relation to the 2/3? Bro, one that I'm hoping you're not asking what I'm thinking, but it's the 144. They're separate from the 1/3 and the 2/3.
That's right.
You got a pie chart. If you got a pie chart, it's 4 sections on a pie chart. All right. When you deal with Israel, it's 4 sections on this pie chart. There's the 2/3, the 1/3, the 144, and those who haven't heard his fame. Remember that.
Zayath, Bazak Baria on his channel, he does Hebrew lessons. Officer Bazak. No, the Persians are red.
What's your interpretation of the altar of Eid in Joshua?
I don't think there's an interpretation of that. Joshua was a historical book, so I mean, I'm sure it was documented in history. Who's to say? I think Issachar is waking up. I think Gad is not waking up at that rate. But like the scriptures say, Gad shall overcome at the last. But Issachar is certainly waking up. You feel me, Isaiah? That's in Genesis 49, JMZ. I mean, you can't prove all 18 nations without a shadow of a doubt, and we don't claim to try to prove that. We know who the hell we are. We know who the Edomites are. We can prove that without a shadow of a doubt. Or sometimes arguments kind of, I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever claimed to know who the descendants of every single one of the 18 nations are. We know the key players, though. Yeah, hey, so that's a good point. A lot of brothers finding out that they ain't really Gadites or Reubenites. Because you got to understand there's a lot of mingling. Gad and Reuben did a lot of mingling. So you have a lot of Gadites and Reubenites that look resemble Esau closer or resembles Judah closer. There's a lot on both sides of that spectrum, because really, as a defense mechanism and preservation, Gad had to start doing a lot of mingling because a lot of Gadites was dying. Reubenites was dying off. No, ancient Persian is not part of Israel. No. You're not watching enough videos, bro, if you think Deuteronomy 28 is what we're limited to. No, we do not consider the false image of Christ to be the beast in Revelation, no. Of course, there's reincarnation. I'm not understanding some of these questions. Yeah, I hope so, JMZ. For real, I hope so. Some brothers are. Officer right here, we up in Seattle was going to the reservations. I mean, I've been to the reservations. It's not really any in Texas, where I'm currently at. All makes are Canaanites. Something like that, Lewis.
All right, guys. It's been real.
Yeah, we out.
This is the Situation Room. And I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawashi Shai. Till next time, till tomorrow night, right? What you guys got for tomorrow night?
Well, we got a part 2 of Magic City tomorrow right here. My part. So tune in for that. We also got the One Church on Saturday. So, yeah.
Tune in for the premieres. Again, like, share, and subscribe. And Tawab la Yasharahla. Shalom.